In northern Uganda, they're crusading against human sacrifice, employing the authority of Christ and a good supply of paraffin to try to end a horrific practice that appears to be killing more and more children, just when Uganda's becoming more modern. The man leading the operation to convert witch doctors and torch their shrines knows that child sacrifice is widespread because he himself is guilty of the very crime he now wants to stop. He sacrificed dozens of children. He even murdered his own son.
I
must be very frank. I was instructed, pick your own child, let him, kill him, sacrifice him. I deceived the wife and I was left with the child alone. And I just used a very sharp, big knife and just brought it down like a guillotine onto the neck. And that was quite painful for me.
I'm entering the secret world of witch doctors, whose activities are now seriously alarming the Ugandan government.
Spirits, through witch doctors demand for human blood. And how do you get human blood? You've got to kill somebody. What we know is that there is an increase now, and public concern is a major issue, and government is responding to that concern.
We started to look for the child when he disappeared.
The panic over witch doctors in northern Uganda began after schoolteacher Peter Odongo reported his son missing a year ago. Just a few days later, he buried 3-year-old Crispus here. The district medical officer reported that the little boy's body had been horribly mutilated.
He found that the organs, the major organs, like the liver, was not there. The pancreas was not there. The heart was not there. And the left arm was cut. So he concluded that this boy, the boy was killed. And he said this habit is what we call child sacrifice. The body was displayed here.
Just a few miles away, another child, 18-month-old Rabina Atino, was found murdered here, her throat slit. Her mother and the rest of the village blame witch doctors. They've started taking their children everywhere for fear they'll be abducted. Child sacrifice is not an age-old practice of witch doctors in this region. On the contrary, it's something new and deeply shocking for these people. The police say there have been about 24 ritual killings in Uganda in the past year, but people here believe the real number is much greater. They're bewildered by what's happening now, and they're scared for the safety of their children. Across Uganda, no one's yet been convicted in connection with recent child sacrifices, and few have even been arrested. But we're going to meet one boy who survived and led police to his abductors.
He's the one.
Now 10-year-old Shafiq Kishike is in hiding in this secret location.
She also fears because Shafiq needs to school.
Today the families come together. Usually they're forced to live apart because Shafiq's been threatened by associates of the men he's accused. Men, he says, seized him in the street and carried him into a shrine. There he underwent a terrifying ordeal at the hands of a female witch doctor.
There were big knives hanging in the roof of the shrine. The lady asked them to lay me down. After some time, she pulled a small stick and hit it next to my head. She told them I had a problem, that they should let me out of the shrine because I did not meet their standards. I was circumcised and I was not pure for their mission.
Shafiq survived because, being circumcised, the witch doctor considered him physically blemished and so unsuitable for sacrifice. Now, with fear of witchcraft increasing, More Ugandan parents have started circumcising their sons and piercing their daughters' ears to protect them. Paulino Anela, the former witch doctor turned anti-sacrifice campaigner, himself used to demand pure specimens. Today, he's reconstructing for us a ceremony like the one at which he was initiated. This is the moment the spirit enters the new witch. But in reality, in Paulino's case and others, initiation also involved child sacrifice. The details of that initiation, which he's now revealing for the first time, are deeply disturbing. A 13-year-old boy was killed in front of him.
The purpose of the cutting was to have the blood squirting all over, So it was done just in my face, and the blood was squirting out. And the purpose of having your entire self drenched or soaked in the blood is simply to give you extra powers to speak all languages. Say if anybody came to you who is a stranger, whose language you had never learned before, you'd be able to speak the language.
Possessed by a demon, as he now insists, Paulino went on to murder not only his own son, but also many other people. I have to ask you this question. How many victims did you have? How many children do you think you killed?
It is difficult to remember precisely, but I can say that even 70 can be a figure that is not too exaggerated.
70 children?
70 persons, yes.
In the 20 years since Paulino gave up his gruesome work, Uganda's become much more developed. In the capital, Kampala, signs of modernity are everywhere. And yet, ironically, it's that very modernity that many Ugandans blame for what they see as a rise in ritual killings. Why is child sacrifice on the increase in an ever more modern society? Could it be that increasing wealth brings increasing ambition, and some people think that they can buy prosperity at the price of human blood? It's widely believed that the bodies of dead children have been buried under the foundations of some of the new developments in this city, Kampala, to ensure the success of the ventures. Concerns now so great that last year the Ugandan police set up an anti-human sacrifice task force.
The rich want to protect, they think they can use those witchcraft powers to protect their wealth and even make more money. There are also some traditional healers who have now strategized in that. There are some traditional healers who claim they have powers which can give wealth.
Traditional healers now advertise round the clock on Uganda's plethora of competing FM radio stations. One helps those who can't get love or have children. Another offers to solve any commonly faced problem. These particular healers are innocent, but are others really witch doctors? The former witch doctor, Paulino Anela, and Vincent Olling, head of local child protection group FAPAD, believe they are. Today, they're heading for the secret shrine of a particularly notorious witch doctor. But converting him takes time. He fears being lynched by a mob if he continues his trade, but he fears retribution from his own spirits if he gives up, and punishment by the police if he confesses. Finally, he agrees to talk. He won't tell us, as Paulino and Vincent say he told them earlier, that his clients bring human body parts, but he admits they bring blood.
They go and capture other people's children and use them for such items required.
And then do they bring the heart and the liver here?
They bring the items demanded, that is the heart and the blood, directly here to him to take to the spirits.
So how often does it happen that the clients bring human blood and human hearts?
On average, yes, what the people who come to me on average are about 3 a week.
3 a week?
About 3 a week.
Yes. With human blood?
Yeah, with all that the spirits demand from them.
But he insists it isn't him who asks for sacrifice.
What happens is that I only introduce the clients to the spirits who go and do direct talking, communicating just face to face.
Now, he says, he's abandoning his trade.
I confess and declare that this thing should be banned.
He's leading us, as he's never led outsiders before, to the spirit's home. And he'll let Lino destroy it. Here, the grisly evidence of what the spirits fed on. Is it human tissue? Certainly, Paulino believes it is. He says he's now converted more than 2,400 witch doctors. This shrine's been destroyed, but there are still many, many others like it in this part of Uganda. And more serious, the belief systems that allowed a shrine like this to flourish are still very deeply rooted. Indeed, the witch doctor who supposedly confessed has gone away now. He couldn't stay till the end of the ceremony. He couldn't bear to see this shrine destroyed. And it's not just in the bush that they believe in spirits. Some government ministers consult witch doctors. The Minister of Ethics disapproves of that, but he believes evil spirits do exist.
Oh, they do. Oh, my God, they do, indeed. We accept they do in every society, mind you. But we don't have to listen to them. We don't have to pay homage to them. There is no merit at all that you can attach to these evil spirits. But they are there.
With so many Ugandans believing in the power of demons, will the government's plans to bring in new legislation against witchcraft have much effect? In northern Uganda, at least, the most effective struggle against child sacrifice is being waged by this former murderer. But hasn't Paulino Angela risked a lot by confessing now so publicly to his crimes?
I have done this work for quite a long time, and they already know me as a warrior in the drive to end abduction and killing innocent children. So I think that alone should indemnify me. The least should grant me amnesty.
He'll be relieved that the government, as we discovered, agrees that old crimes should now be laid to rest. But he still has a long and lonely road ahead as he sets off again to cajole or threaten another stubborn witch doctor into giving up his bloody business.